Hello everyone, welcome back to Real Talk with Dr. Bird. Today we're going to go over an important implementation that many people use, castor oil, and the benefits of castor oil, how to use it. I've been seeing lately a lot of information that hasn't been my experience being passed around. So I want to kind of correct the record on castor oil usage so that people actually get the benefits of it and don't think that it's just another woo-woo pseudoscience thing being passed around. So first I'd like to go over the ways in which castor oil can be used. So you can take castor oil orally, which is probably something that I would never recommend just because you can get some kind of nasty side effects from that, like cramping, bloating, and diarrhea. It's supposed to be something that helps constipation, but in my eyes, I see there's other avenues that are not as harsh on the body as castor oil is when it is taken internally. So another way that you can use castor oil is in the hair, on the eyebrows, eyelashes, and for eye health, and on the skin for different blemishes, as well as using it transdermally, which is on the skin in areas that may need that extra lymphatic support and detoxification support. So I'd like to go through the benefits of castor oil now. The first one being a pain reliever. So a lot of times when we have swollen, painful joints, you can put castor oil on that and it helps relieve that. I can say in my own experience, if you have had injuries to certain areas, sometimes the castor oil, when you first begin to put it on, will kind of pull out that pain. So it may increase for like a short duration, but it should then start to feel better. Some people haven't had that same effect on areas that are painful, but just speaking from my own experience, I was having lower back pain, and when I put that on, the pain increased for the next 24-ish hours and then started to decrease after that. The next one is it increases bile production. So when you put it on the liver gallbladder area, which is an area that I usually highly recommend for somebody who's looking for overall health benefits from castor oil, it will increase that bile production when put on that area, which in turn increases the breakdown of fat-soluble vitamins in order to be absorbed better and so that the body can utilize them. It also increases detoxification, especially with those fat-soluble toxins, so that they can be released via the stool. So the next benefit is skin health or skin benefits. So it can eliminate fine lines, wrinkles, stretch marks, acts as a cleanser, minimizes the appearance of scars, acts as a moisturizer. If somebody has acne, it does a lot for the health of the skin and the collagen elasticity of the skin. So the next benefit is that it improves hair texture, growth, thickness, shiny. It's an all-around kind of moisturizer for the skin and the hair. And the next benefit, it moves the bowels and relieves constipation. Like I said before, it's not something that I would recommend in that sense. I would recommend magnesium or changing the diet in order to move the bowels properly, even some different massage techniques, movement of the body. I would try those first before resorting to castor oil. It increases and improves the lymphatic drainage and blood flow, like I talked about. It amps up detoxification due to the oil acting as a solvent in our own gels and fatty tissues. And this also increases the number of lymphocytes and other microbial organisms to act as the cleanup crew within the body. So it's going to be like, it acts as like a terrain remediator in order to clean up different tissues that might have been damaged and to restore balance. It relieves painful sunburns, just like you can use aloe vera or witch hazel poultices in order to help relieve sunburns. It lengthens eyelashes and thickens your eyebrows. So a lot of people do that for aesthetic looks. It aids in removing moles and skin tags. I can speak to the skin tag issue a little bit. I have noticed in myself that these skin tags seem to dry up and do fall off. It softens cuticles and eliminates brittle nails. It reduces inflammation by eliminating toxins and increasing the cleanup crew and the fluid flow in the area so that the lymphatic system can pull that out, put it into the circulatory system, which then goes into the kidneys or back to the liver if they are fat soluble toxins, in order to fully remove the waste from the system. It hydrates chapped lips or any chapped skin. It can relieve migraines. So if you are having a migraine, you can put it in the areas where you feel the tenderness or sensitivity. You can put it on the forehead or on the base of the skull and down the neck, because a lot of times if it is a migraine, those areas are kind of affected as well. So you can kind of even massage it in there to help release the excess tension. It reduces menstrual cramps, so you can put it on your lower abdomen to help relieve those. It can assist with insomnia. It's known to break down bone spurs and excess tissues like fibroids, cysts, tumors, scar tissues, endometriosis, and the like. It increases wound healing by increasing globulins, which are antibodies, and tissue remediators. It assists with lipid metabolism, like I talked about before. The fat-soluble vitamins, and assists with digestion by stimulating muscle movement, and soothes and reduces hemorrhoids. I know personally from a client that this benefited them with hemorrhoids, so that's why I threw that one in there. It assists with cataracts, eyesight, and eye health. And I have another client who has used this for cataracts, and he says they're doing much, much better. So those are kind of some of the benefits that I came up with that I wanted to share. So then we're going to go into the different things that constitute castor oil, what to look for, and different tidbits of information that may be beneficial to know. And then we'll move on to how to use or apply castor oil and use castor oil packs. So 1 tablespoon of castor oil is equal to 14 grams of fat. The nutritional breakdown per 100 grams of castor oil is as follows. So the energy has 877 kilocalories. It has 99.9 grams of total fatty acids. It has 33.96 grams of saturated fatty acids, 25.57 grams of polyunsaturated fat, 40.77 grams of monounsaturated fat. There's no cholesterol, and it has 122.8 milligrams of sodium. What you want to look for when buying castor oil is it stored in an amber colored glass bottle? Because if it's in plastics, those plastics can leach into the castor oil and it can cause a reaction in your skin. I made the mistake of buying a plastic bottled one before, and I was using it around my eyes, and I noticed that I was getting tiny bumps, and that's kind of what it came back to, or pointed to, was the plastic bottle. So you'll want hexane free, because hexane is a toxin, so you don't want to add that to your skin, to your body in any way. You'll want it to be organic, and you'll want it to be cold pressed, because if it's processed in other ways, it can add other chemicals and things that you don't want to put into your body, or it can destroy the constitutions within the oil. So it's best to kind of look for those things, because then you'll get the most benefit out of the castor oil. So 2 that I would recommend, which I have one of them right here, is the let me see if I can get it in the frame here, the Heritage Store organic castor oil. It's organic, it's hexane free, it's cold pressed. You can see all that right on it. It's got the glass bottle, and then I have their brand of their castor oil pack, and that is the Queen of the Thrones. So they also have a good castor oil as well that I could recommend to people. As far as castor oil packs go, I would recommend you can either use a designated or select garment that you don't care if it stains, because that's why the packs are mainly used, is because when you put castor oil on your skin, it's going to leave an oil stain whatever touches it. So you can just put it on your skin. If you have an old t-shirt or an old nightgown that you don't care if it gets stained, you don't really necessarily have to use a pack. You can just put your castor oil on, put your garment on that you would like to use. Or another option is using like a cheesecloth and then placing a piece of flannel, wool, or organic cloth over that cheesecloth. Then it keeps that oil in place as well. Or you can buy an organic castor oil pack. The Queen of Thrones one has a good castor oil pack, because it is the organic inner piece that is on your skin. So you buy it from a reputable source like the Queen of the Thrones one. So now we'll move on to how to use or apply castor oil and use the packs. So what I typically recommend is place 1 to 2 tablespoons of castor oil in your hand and rub it on the area that you want to improve. Of course, this is going to be on larger areas, the 1 to 2 tablespoons. So like the abdominal and liver area for GI health or overall benefits, detoxification, and the lower abdomen for any reproductive health, the throat area for thyroid health, joints for the joint pain, inflammation, arthritis, the spine, the feet, etc. for bone spurs, and the like. So if you are using it in your hair, eyelids, and face, you do not have to use as much as the 1 to 2 tablespoons. So use what is comfortable to you. So you kind of have to experiment when it comes to castor oil. So if you don't like globs of it on your eyes at night, just you begin to use a little and see how you do. You'll probably want to start out with a little anyway to see how your skin reacts to it and how you do with it anyway. So castor oil takes a little while to fully absorb, so like I said, you may want to test it out to see what works for you. So what I see a lot is people saying it takes 15 to 20 minutes to absorb. This has never been my experience personally. I think that's more with people who put the castor oil straight on the pack, because then the pack is absorbing the oils as well as your skin. So for me personally, to get the full benefit of castor oil, I would rather put it directly on the skin. So when I've done that, I've taken the pack off to check it, or even I used to wear just a nightgown, and the castor oil is never fully absorbed before, I would say probably anywhere between 3 to 6 hours. I usually wear it overnight and it's fully absorbed by the morning. So when I hear people say only use castor oil packs for 20 minutes because that's all it needs to absorb, that isn't the full truth. In my own experience, it hasn't absorbed before a few hours. So that's why I always say you'll kind of have to play with things and see how it works for your body. That's why I do not like metrics being given in the first place for only use it 15 to 20 minutes or, you know, this length of time, because that's all it needs to absorb. When these tests have never been done, people are just going by certain experiences, and that can vary from individual to individual. So I say find what works for you, how your body does with it, and then go from there. So you can purchase an amber colored glass roll-on bottle, which is what I use, and roll the castor oil onto the areas that you want. Me personally, I'm kind of sensory avoidant with certain things, so the castor oil on my hands and rubbing it on different places was kind of a bit much for me sensory wise. So if you're kind of like me, that roll-on bottle does wonders. So that's an option as well, and it probably does wonders too for when you're rolling above the eye and below and wherever you want to use it. So if you are using a castor oil pack, then you can do so at this step. After you've put everything on, rolled it on, you can put the castor oil pack. But as I stated before, do not place the oil directly on the pack. I think that does you a disservice because you want that directly on the skin. A lot of times when we're moving around too, the pack necessarily doesn't always get right against the skin. So putting it on the skin is the best option in my eyes. It doesn't absorb as much into the skin that way when you place it on the pack directly. The pack is there to simply protect the fabrics around you from getting stained, like I said. And if you are an adult using this, then I would say leave it on a minimum of 1 to 2 hours. Okay, so if you're having a skin reaction, of course, don't leave it on for that long. You might have to start out lower and slower. And if you're using it for a child, then I would say leave it on for a minimum of 30 to 45 minutes to begin with. And then you can wipe it off with a warm, wet washcloth, or you can shower bathe, whatever works for you. Adults can work their way up to using it overnight once they see how they tolerate it. You can add heat to it, so like a heating pad or one of the heating packs, but then you will want to limit your time just because you don't want to fall asleep overnight with a heating pad on. So you'll have to figure out, I guess, what works best for you when you use heat. If you do use heat, it will allow the oil to absorb faster. Do not use a heating pad on it overnight, like I stated, and always supervise a child if you are using a heating pad. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of show you what I do when using one so that you can kind of see. This is the pack. As you can see, mine is never soaked with oil. You can smell the castor oil on it, but it's not soaked with oil because I don't put it directly on there, so my skin is absorbing the oils more than what the pad is. So if you're using it on your liver, gallbladder area, you would just take this. I'm not gonna show skin or anything, but you rub, or if you don't have this, then you just pour some oil in your hand, rub here, and then I tend to rub across and around the stomach too, just because it helps with digestion and all sorts of things, and the core holds most of your organs, so I just feel that it's beneficial to do. So you put that under there, and then you take these straps around and tie them, and then the pack stays on. So then it's on all night. I usually will put this on, of course, under my shirt. It's going to be directly on the skin, and then put my nightgown over top of it, and it's fine to sleep in. It's comfortable. So, and that is from the Queen of the Thrones as well. So it's pretty easy to use, and it has so many benefits, which is why I recommend it in so many instances over a lot of the other things used for detoxification. If somebody is more sensitive to a lot of different things, castor oil is usually one of the things that can assist for those who are sensitive. So enjoy. If you have any other questions about using it, please let me know. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.